I'm Dr. Young. In this video, we'll discuss one of the most hotly debated issues around, the different schools of thought on income and economic inequality. Generally speaking, there are three pillars of thought in this area. They include utilitarianism, liberalism, and libertarianism. On the first of these three, what in the world is utilitarianism? Utilitarianism is the idea that our elected officials should focus on maximizing the total utility of households in society. By construction, the most important factor in utilitarianism is this thing called a utility, which is the level of satisfaction one receives from consumption. The idea of utility or happiness is used to construct these odd things called indifference curves. What are indifference curves? Well, in simplest terms, indifference curves show what each of us would be willing to give up of one thing for another. It's about a trade-off. How many bowls of cereal would I be willing to give up for a cell phone? Now, do that for every individual across all goods in society and we'd have the indifference curve for all on Earth. In any event, the concept of indifference curves is a key factor in the theory of consumer choice. Now, what exactly does utilitarianism have to do with economic inequality? Well, utilitarianism suggests that government leaders should redistribute money from high-income households to low-income households. The reasoning would be that more money to low-income households makes low-income households much happier than the decrease in happiness to high-income households. Simply put, an extra $1,000 to someone making $40,000 a year makes them much happier than an extra $1,000 to someone making $500,000 a year. The formal term for what we just talked about is diminishing marginal utility of income. Now, if we assume total income in an economy is constant, then we as a society can increase total utility by transferring wealth from high-income households to low-income households. In the U.S., the federal income tax system and the welfare systems are examples of utilitarianism redistribution. High-income households pay a higher amount of taxes, and part of this tax revenue is transferred to low-income households as tax breaks or welfare assistance. The second popular view of economic redistribution is liberalism. Liberalism is the idea that our elected officials should focus on policies that achieve social justice. What is social justice? Well, let's just say that an impartial observer would be able to figure that out. The concept behind liberalism was first proposed by John Rawls in 1971 and has had the attention of political scientists and economists ever since. The crucial factor debated in liberalism is whether society can objectively define what justice is. In John Rawls's view, a just set of rules can be chosen because public policy affects everyone. And because everyone is affected, the principles of justice are the result of fair agreement. How is liberalism different from utilitarianism? Rawls and other liberalism supporters suggest that instead of maximizing the utility of all households, we should be maximizing the utility of the worst off in society. It's called the maximin criterion. A third option is libertarianism. Libertarianism is quite different than the first two philosophies. Instead of focusing on income redistribution, the central planner should focus on punishing crimes and enforcing voluntary agreements. The fundamental disconnect is really about the role of the central planner. Libertarianism argues that government should only intervene in the market economy when income distribution is unfairly achieved. For instance, when someone is stealing or cheating the system, the government has the obligation to step in. Outside of that, libertarianism argues that the nature of the income distribution should be preserved. To sum up, the three views of political philosophy discussed here on economic distribution are utilitarianism, liberalism, and libertarianism. All three are attempts to answer the fundamental question of how the central planner should approach economic inequality. All three serve as useful foundations for us to think about improving public policy and achieving some form of economic equality. If you'd like to explore these topics more in depth, come visit us at Chegg, where you can see additional topic videos and solved example problems, or you can ask one of the Chegg subject matter experts.